KwaZulu's top cop in combat uniform, they want to take over government. This is terrorism. Good evening and welcome back to my channel. This is nothing but a Thanksgiving video in praise of the God-sent Lieutenant General Sibusiso Mkhwanazi. Every South African citizen deserves better than what the present government is offering. People like Mkhwanazi deserve full support. Our hopes for a better South Africa are now pinned on him. Let's rally behind him and ask God to protect him. Our children are out on the streets doing drugs brought in the country by the corrupt government. The fight against drug cartels and all sorts of criminality has started. Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi explained his Special Task Force regalia as a deliberate message to criminal networks attempting to overtake government and said their actions amounted to terrorism. He gave this explanation while linking the disbandment of a political killings task team and alleged political interference to a broader threat to the criminal justice system. He walked out in combat uniform flanked by armed officers, and called it terrorism. While Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi dressed for war, what he said he was fighting, and why South Africa is watching. At a high-profile press briefing in Durban, Mkhwanazi appeared in Special Task Force regalia and said the fight wasn't against a usual criminal element, but against people attempting to seize control of government through violence and corruption. He declared, "How do you deal with a terrorist? As I see it now, this is terrorism. It is people who want to take over government not through the ballot paper, but through criminal activities." Wearing combat gear, he said, was meant to send a message. Law enforcement is prepared and serious. Mkhwanazi tied the display to wider accusations: the disbandment of a political killings task team, 121 dockets removed, and alleged connections between political figures and criminal networks. He told the Madlanga inquiry these moves risk a collapse of the criminal justice system. Public reaction split between praise for his courage and alarm at militarized imagery. ANC figures defended the regalia as Special Task Force uniform and urged formal investigation of his claims. The core question now, is this a legitimate alarm bell about systemic capture or a dramatic gambit that escalates tensions? The Madlanga Commission will test the evidence.
General, even the commissioners watch television. You can take it from me that we saw the media briefing on 6 July 2025, you talked about protocol, which means following official channels. I'm more curious about the dress code on the day and the fact that people who appeared were armed. Just give us a general picture. Is that normally how your team dresses? Why were they dressed that way on the day?
Although we have to now display our tactical strategies in public, but commissioners, as we're investigating and this picture coming together, then we start realizing that we now have to move from being a service provider to society to becoming a force in order for us to prevent the El Cadors and the Mexicos to happen in this country. Because the threat, the enemy that we saw that is infiltrating crime intelligence, is infiltrating parliament, and is controlling our executive authority and going into the heart of the police operations, which is investigation. To date, I'm speaking to you, the Matlalas and the likes, if you go and see the record of cases withdrawn against Matlala, more than 18 here in this province. And you really realize that you can no longer wear a tie and face this fight. So this is a fight that requires, for one, to apply the tactics that is learned over years. And one had to draw on experience I had in the task force of saying, how do you deal with a terrorist? And because as I see it now, I think this is terrorism. This is people who want to take over government, not through the ballot paper, but through these criminal activities. We must protect those who go to the voting station. Political parties exercise their rights, they vote, they appoint government. But if government is going to be taken in this fashion, it cannot happen under our name. So it's for that reason that we wanted to communicate a message to South Africa that we are ready, and communicate a message to this drug squad, politicians, the executive, police officers within law enforcement agencies that we're ready for them. I said when I presented earlier, I knew that I've got a target on my back. So for me, maybe you'll forgive me in saying this as a Zulu man. So I wanted to make sure that they get a message that
I don't sneak up on a person. I face them directly.
So Commissioner, we were pushed to the corner that for us to counter this, what is happening, let's draw attention of South Africa for them to realize the battle that we're about to face. And it is a battle, I must say, as I said, when you put that screen, that they are so-called experts, they are so-called forensic investigators, they are so-called journalists. There's a whole lot of people that are spreading news, feeding the narrative that has been perpetuated by these people internal. We have people in the organization that when a case is open, they take the docket and they keep it in their office and they don't investigate it. And we have evidence for that. The Deputy Provincial Commissioner Gauteng can be called into this commission. He will tell you the list of all these dockets that were opened. There's one of them, it's a kidnapped person which is allegedly Nhlanhla is involved. That docket was in Gauteng, but an instruction came from the head office, the JRSB's office, that we want that case docket. That docket is sitting in the head office. The mother of the kidnapped son, or the missing son, even contacted me because she can't find closure. And now we begin to see that who are people implicated, the Nhlanhlas, and these investigations have been suppressed. We therefore cannot sit back, commissioners. We must take off our palaberam shoes and take off our blue uniform and wear boots and go and face the enemy directly.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more accountability reporting and tell us what you think in the comments. What do you believe Mkhwanazi meant when he said this amounts to terrorism? Was wearing Special Task Force regalia a necessary alarm or an escalation that risks militarizing policing? Which institutions should investigate the claims about removed dockets and political interference next? If criminal networks are trying to overtake government, what concrete reforms would you trust to stop them? Do you think the Nhlanhla Commission will produce accountability or only more questions? Which piece of evidence would convince you that these are politically motivated removals rather than routine operational decisions? Next episode, unpacking the 121 dockets. Where did they go and who ordered their removal? Subscribe, hit the bell, and drop your answer below. Your comment may be featured in our next episode. If this story hit home, help us hit harder. Subscribe to Skybridge for more investigations that demand answers. Drop a comment, tap super thanks to fuel the next expose. Want to go deeper? Join the channel for just 14 rands per month. Cancel anytime. Your support powers the journalism others won't touch. This isn't just content, it's a call to action. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you on my next upload. Bye.